In this video, we're going to talk about how to add events to your events calendar. So from your main dashboard page, we go to the left-hand side where it says events. We're going to hover over that. And then if you have any venues that you want to give the location of that the events are taking place in, you're going to have to add them first. So we go down to the venues tab right here. There's no venues that have been added yet to this calendar. So I'm going to add a new one. And you just sort of go down, you work your way down the page, and you fill in the information it asks for. So you're going to want a name, first of all, for the event. We'll call this new venue. If you have a description that you want to add, you can add that here. And in this case, I'm just going to add some filler text, and then you just continue working your way down the page. Here it asks for an address. This is the most important thing because on your actual event, it's going to give people the ability to see the location and also to find directions to that location. So I'm going to add an address in here. And you can see as you start to type it in, it will bring up a number of different choices here. In this case, this is the one I'm interested in, so I'm going to click on that. You could add a phone number and a website if you wanted to. And if you want the map to show, which I do, and you're normally going to want that to happen too, I'm going to click on show the map, and then it will show up on your event, in your events calendar. And it shows how that's going to look. When you're done adding that, you go up here and you click on Publish, and now you have a venue created, and you'll be able to choose that venue from any of the events. So now you're going to want to add a new event. So I'm going to click on Add New Event here. If you want to see the events that you currently have, you can click on Events, and that will show the events. There's been two sort of sample events here. I'm going to want to create a new one, so I'm going to go up here where it says Add New Events. I'm going to click on that, and again we're just going to sort of work our way down the page, and we're going to fill in the information that it asks for. So in this case, I'm going to call this event a new event. Again, if the event has a description, which most times you'll want that, you can add one here, and then it comes down to where it asks for the date, and this is actually going to be date and time, when the event is from, and when it will go to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in that field right there, and we'll say the event is going to take place on. We'll say it's going to take place in January of 2019. So right now we're in December of 2018. So I'm going to click on the down arrow next to the year. I'm going to click on 2019. And then next to the month, I'm going to click on the down arrow. And I'm going to choose January. So now I can choose a day in January 2019. I'm going to choose a date when the event will take place. We'll say January 26th. So I'm going to choose that here. And you see the event comes up here. The date of it comes up. The time is going to be, it's going to give some just random time. You want to choose a time, and your choices are going to be in military time. So it's a 24-hour clock. So if it's going to take place at 7 in the morning, you would choose 7. If it's going to take place later in the day, you just choose your time. 18th would be the 18th hour of the day. So we'll say that's our starting date and time for the event. So it would go to, if the event is going to take place on the same, if it's all going to take place on one day, I would just do the same thing. I just go up to January 2019, and I would choose the same day, and now it gives me again a random time. And I started the first time on the 18th hour of the day, so we'll go to the 19th hour. And that's going to be a 1-hour event on the 26th of January. If this event is not a repeating event, I leave this in this location right here. In this case, I'm going to want it to repeat. So I'm going to choose a repeating, and this event is going to repeat weekly, I'll say. If you don't want it to, you just choose don't repeat. And you have a number of different options of how often it can repeat. This case, I'll say it's going to repeat weekly. So we'll choose weekly, and it's going to repeat every week. So I'll choose every 1 week, and it's going to happen on a Saturday. So I'm going to make sure there's a dot there, and you have to give it an end time. If you want this event to go on indefinitely, you can just choose a date way out in the future, but you do have to give it an end date. In this case, I'm going to say it's going to go on till the end of the year. I'll then choose 2019, December 2019, and I'll say until the last Saturday of the year. This event will repeat until that time. If the event has a URL, has a website, you can put the website in here. If there's a video that's associated with it, you can put the link to the video right in here. You're going to want to assign it to the calendar that it's going to go to. In this case, we only have one calendar, so we're going to call that, we're going to check that right next to that one. And again, for the venue, this won't come into play normally. So if the event is going to take place at a venue, you choose the venue. We only have one, in which we created, which was a new venue, which was called new venue. I'll select that, and again it brings up the information, shows the location, and then I'm done filling in the information. So what I do is I'm going to publish that event, and now once that's published, that event will show up in your event calendar.